So the sledge push, there's a few different ways you can do this. Some will be a lot more efficient than others. When I see a lot of people new to a sledge push, what I tend to see is they're going to have their arms fully extended and they're going to be pushing like this. That is a great technique in theory, but the problem is you're going to burn your shoulders and arms out so quickly. Then the technique that I used to use, the sledge, come down nice and low, and then we come down into this position here. This is very, very quad dominant. So if you do that, you might feel your quads burn out quite quick. It was quite a rude awakening when I was doing my Hyrox, how quickly my quads felt that burn. Then the other technique, and again, this comes down to if you want to go more quad dominant or if you want to go more glute dominant. I can't fully show you a more glute dominant sledge push today because with the sledge, you want it to be a little bit higher. So if you're going to go more quad dominant, this is what I do now. You wrap your arms around the sledge, come down, and then we're just going to push. Now, that again is a lot more quad dominant. If you want to go more glute dominant, you want to be a little bit more upright, sort of in this position here. That's where you need taller arms on the sledge because that right there ends up hurting your bicep. But this here, this now is going to be a lot more glute dominant rather than quad dominant. Within the rules, you don't have to pick one. You don't have to pick one. So you can go from quad to glute to quad to glute. And another tip is when you're halfway through your sledge push, have a 10 second break. Have a 10 to 20 second break if you're doing solo. Because we don't want to just fill your legs up with lactic acid and your brown bread before you even finish the first length. This is only station number 2. So now that we've got weight on the sledge, we're going to go over foot speed and positioning. Obviously, we've just gone over positioning where we want to bias our quads or if we want to bias our glutes. When we set up in the sledge, we want to make sure that we get down nice and low and keep our back engaged and keep our back nice and straight. You don't want to be pushing with your back rounding up like this because A, it's going to lead to potential injuries, and B, you're going to burn out so quickly, it's not going to be efficient. So when we come in, if you play rugby in the past, that's fantastic. We get down into a nice low ruck or scrum position like so. Then when it comes down to our footwork, there's 3 ways we can realistically do it. Those are little baby steps, which you can see is extremely inefficient. And the other ways we can go for big strides, which is equally as inefficient. You put in a lot of weight into your calves, into your Achilles tendons, and all that sort of fun stuff. What I recommend, and this is where it's going to take a little bit of playing about, finding out what works best for you, sort of meet in the middle. So we're not going loads of little baby steps, but we're doing little steps like this. That way, you're not going to burn out as quickly because you've got both legs working a little bit more than just doing big strides like that. You're able to get down, push through your toes and push the weight further forward. Now, if you are going to go with the technique where you want to go a little bit more quad dominant, one tip that I'll give you, and I do this myself, when we're down here in the start position, I put my head down here on the plate holder. What that does, it takes a little bit of weight away from our core, so it just makes it feel a little bit easier.